Okay, in last video we talked about these 6 primary emotions. And in this video we're going to talk about the blended emotions. So except for these 6 primary emotions, all the other emotions would go to this blended emotions category, including shame, embarrassment, anxiety, etc. So let me first describe a scenario with you guys. So let's say tonight you are borrowing your boyfriend's or girlfriend's computer. And when you are using this computer to browse the internet, there is a new message pumped up, and you read it. It says, "I cannot stop thinking about you since the last night we were together." Wow, that is a big bomb, right? So what emotions do you experience at this moment? It's really hard to say, right? You may experience fixed feelings, fixed emotions. Probably first you may feel anger because you can't believe that your boyfriend or girlfriend has done such a thing to you. They're cheating on you. And probably fear, you may lose this relationship. Sadness, heartbroken, you won't trust him or her anymore. Okay? So I would say this is kind of the blended emotions. You cannot tell or specifically identify what kind of emotions you are experiencing right now. So I would say it's a blended emotion. So next I'm gonna play you guys a video clip. And this video clip is the sore moments in Oscar or Grammy Awards. So pay close attention to some celebrities, their facial expressions. And can you tell what kind of emotions they were experiencing in these awards? So please click in the video below this lecture and then come back to our lecture. Well, welcome back to the lecture. I hope you like this video. So my question is, what kind of emotions did you observe? Well, some of you may say embarrassment, shame, scorn, etc. And my next question is, what kind of emotions tend to come together? Well, these answers could be very different, such as anger tends to come along with sadness, or surprise, I don't know. But I'll leave this question open to you guys to think about what kind of emotions tend to come together. Okay, so we've discussed these primary emotions, these 6 primary emotions, and these blended emotions. And next, I want to talk about a concept called emotional intelligence. So when we talk about people's intelligence, probably by default, we would refer to people's, their intellectual intelligence, which is people's ability to do logic reasoning, to do some kind of computational stuff like math, physics, etc. However, this intelligence does not only include this IQ, but also refers to people's ability to deal with emotions, to deal with communication and relationship. So let's talk about this emotional intelligence. By definition, it's people's ability to interpret your own and others' emotions accurately and to use emotional and information to guide thinking and behavior. So if people have a high level of emotional intelligence, they would have the ability to manage their emotions and communicate with other people in an appropriate way and improve or solve relationship problems. And before I talk about some important things that people with high emotional intelligence do, I would like to show you guys a video from Big Bang Theory. And this main character in this video, he has absolutely high level of IQ, but he really sucks in dealing with people, his own and other people's emotions and relationships. So please click the second video below and take a look at this video clip and then come back to our lecture. Okay, so we can see that Sheldon, he has absolutely very high level of IQ, right? He's really good at, doing math, doing physics, and solving this kind of scientific problem. But he is really bad at, detecting people's emotions and communicating with people. So let's talk about what kind of things that emotionally intelligent people would do. Well, first, they would have empathy towards other people. They could put themselves into others' shoes, understand their feelings, and know their needs. And second, they also understand their own emotions. They understand, they are aware about what kind of emotions they're experiencing and how they express their emotions. That is the third thing that this type of people would do. They could constructively manage their own emotions. So they are aware what kind of emotions they are experiencing and they can make best use of their emotions in a very constructive way. So make emotions do things for them, solve problems for them. And the last one is harness their emotional states in a positive way. Okay, so they could make best use of their emotions and use this emotion to solve problems. Let me give you another example for this last 2 points. So sometimes I would be really, when me and my husband, we experience a problem, and I would feel a little bit kind of disappointed and sad towards him. So instead of having a big fight with him, I would kind of use this emotion to kind of ask for his attention, and then we can communicate this problem in a relatively peaceful and appropriate way. So I would like to use this emotion in a very constructive way. Okay. So that is these 4 types of things that people with high emotionally intelligence would do. So regarding the last 2 points I mentioned in last slide, I want to talk a little bit more about this emotional management or regulations. So by definition, emotion management refers to our attempt to influence how you experience and express emotions. So it is inevitable that we may experience different emotions from time to time. We cannot do anything about it. But what we can do, or what we can decide, is how we experience and how we express our emotions. So for this time, we got to be a little bit kind of rational and use our brain to control our emotions, to control our heart. So there are 2 common ways for us to manage the triggered emotions. These 2 ways are really kind of extreme, on the extreme side of this scale. And neither of these 2 is good. We want to avoid them. We want to find a balance point in the middle of them and try to balance out. So first, let's talk about what are these 2 common ways for us to manage these emotions, triggered emotions. The first one, we call it a suppression. That is, we want to behave in a very, very rational way. So we hold back all the emotions in us and we do not express any emotions at all. The second one is we kind of totally do the opposite. We vent out all the emotions we have. We totally completely express ourselves. Let all the emotions out and let the emotions dominate our thoughts, our behaviors. So these are these 2 ways for us to manage these triggered emotions. Again, neither of these 2 is good, is healthy. We want to avoid these 2 extreme ways to manage, to cope with the emotion. We want to find a balance or find a point in the middle of these 2 and try to balance out. Express some emotion, but at the same time, we want to hold back a little bit. And here, regarding this emotion venting, I want to talk about a concept. It's called catharsis. So catharsis was proposed as a concept or a proposal in the media effects field. So the basic idea of this theory or this concept is that when people openly express their emotions, this behavior will enable them to purge these emotions. Okay, so put it into a simple way. So emotions are pretty much like a bottle of water. Okay, and the bottle is pretty much like a human being, and the water is like the emotions. So if we pull all the water out, if we pull all the emotions out, so this behavior will enable us to not experience these emotions anymore. So the emotions will be gone. Okay, that is the basic idea of this concept, catharsis. So my next question is that, is it true? Okay, is it true, or is it fact, or is it misinformation? Okay, let me kind of share a behavior or story of my husband to show you whether this is true or not. So my husband, he is definitely not a good driver. Okay, and what he does is that he habitually is speeding. Okay, and he got lots of tickets from the policeman. Okay, and every year we got to set up a budget to cover all the tickets he got from the highway from the policeman. So I think if he got 2 more tickets, his driver license will be taken away. So as you can figure out, he has extremely high level of anger towards policemen. But he cannot really have a fight with the policeman, with the cops, to to show his anger, to vent out his emotions. So what does he do? He found such a video game called Need for Speed. So if some of you have played this video game, you know that the major task of this game is you either run away from the cops or you hit them using your car. So my husband, he is silly enough to use these video games to vent out all his anger towards the policeman. But guess what? Does it help? Does this video game help him elevate his anger towards the policeman? Of course not, right? This video game is not of any help regarding his anger, regarding his emotions towards policemen. And indeed, this video game will eventually boost more anger towards the policeman. And that is the truth about this catharsis. So in other words, catharsis is false, it's not true. So the truth is that according to the research, open expressions of one's emotions is not of any help in terms of managing or purging this emotion. This may give you a temporary break, but eventually it will boost even more anger, even more negative emotions. So that is this catharsis, and this will be on the exam for sure. I will ask you guys what is true about catharsis. Is it a true phenomenon or not? And in next video, I'm gonna show you guys a short interview with a scientist talking about these 2 ways for people to manage, to regulate their emotions. And in this video, this scientist will also talk about catharsis.